Hey everybody, this is Brad from Johnson Small Engines, better known as the one-hand mechanic. If I can do it, you can too. Today we have here a John Deere D110, and I want to show you, in my opinion, how to install a mower deck drive belt. Okay, so first I'm going to show you some of the tools that we need today, and there may be a few other ones, but let's go ahead over to the bench and look at what we need. Okay, so from left to right, you may or may not need a couple of pry bars. I tend to use these in case pulleys won't come off, or I also use them to raise the mower deck in the rear. So that may be needed, we may not be needed. Pair of needle nose pliers or just a pair of regular pliers. I'm using electric tools. You can go ahead and use, just if you have a couple different ratchets you can use. I'm going to use a 1/4 inch electric ratchet with a 10mm socket, an extension. This is a 15mm socket. A couple of blocks may be needed to help relieve some stress on the deck hangers, which is definitely a lot of help. And the mower deck belt. I do not recommend getting an aftermarket mower deck belt. You will not be happy with most of them. This is a John Deere GX20072. This goes on many of the D100 series with the 42-inch mower deck. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is, if you can do this on asphalt or concrete, it makes it so much easier. If you guys have a 4x8 sheet of plywood, maybe you can drive it on that to help you slide the mower deck in and out. And a lot of people are like, oh, why do you have to take the mower deck off to get to the mower deck belt? Well, there's a few different reasons why I do that. I take the mower deck off because, one, you really should take a look at everything that's on there when you're replacing your belt. You don't want to put a belt on if you have a bad pulley. And why did the belt, break, or why did it, why are you replacing the belt? You should always service your mower deck when you're replacing the belt. That's my opinion. And so I'm always going to show you how to remove the mower deck and install your belt. And then there's a couple different pointers and tips and stuff like that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the mower deck all the way in the furthest down position that you can put it. And then I'm also going to put the emergency brake on. That'll help it from moving, back and forth. Now we're working on the right side, and since we're here, we're going to go ahead and take the rear deck hanger off. Okay, so here we have the rear deck hanger. Now this, even though the mower deck is all the way down in the first position, this has been around for a long time. I think it has like 300 hours on it. And a lot of times when you get your mowers, the mower decks they're not as high as you'd like them to be. So through the years, we've made adjustments, and this is actually a lot higher. There's still tension on this, and that makes it a little bit of a problem. Sometimes you'll put it all the way down, there won't be any tension. That's where my pry bar comes in handy. Now, if there's no tension on this, then absolutely just take the pin out. And the way I take these pins out is I turn them sideways, and then I pull them down, and they're really easy to come out. And then take the washer off. And this one has tension, so I use my pry bar. And with one arm, you can just, with my one arm, I can hold it up, and then there's no tension, it'll come right out. Now, also, the block of wood, which I was saying, you can put that in there and then let go, and then you have no tension. It'll come right off, and then turn it 90 degrees. They have it's like a little puzzle here, how you put this on, and it's like an oval. So you only go in one way. And as you can see, this guy here is definitely worn. It's not too bad, but you can replace these too. You can get your John Deere dealership. When you go and put this back on again, this U shape should be facing rearward. So when it goes back on, it should look like that. Just remember that. Taking that off right there. Now I'm going to take the block out because I want this actually as far down as I can get it. Okay, so right now we have the arm right here. It's a center hanger. I'm just going to go ahead and take this pin out. Should be a washer. This one, yeah, it's a washer. And you just pull the hanger off. Now I'll drop it down. Now we're going to go to the other side. Okay, so the rear deck hanger is it's tight, so we need to put something under here. Just going to pick up the mower deck, and you can just do this through your hand if you want. Just put it under there. That alleviates the tension. Pull the pin, turn it sideways, and pull it out. Washer. Slide this off, turn it 90 degrees. Comes right out. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drop this block out of here. Just watch your fingers. I'm going to go ahead and do the center arm right here. And now that was facing the wrong direction in my opinion. Now, I have not been servicing this machine. He has been doing it. The customer's been doing it. But you see how it's facing this way? Always face your pins rearward, because if you face them this way and you hit something, because we do 90% of our driving, or actually 98% of our driving is forward. So if this thing hits something, it'll pop out and you may lose your arm right here. So if you put it in this way, it can just pop in and stay stationary. It won't fall out on you. Just remember that. There we got. He's missing his washer here. It's not a real big deal. Eventually through time, like I said, this is an older machine. Okay, so we have the front deck hanger right here, and we have the pin, and this is a nice clevis pin. These work real nice and they stay very good. You just bend them out a little bit like that. They're real nice pins. Washer. And because everything else is apart, it should just fall off. Now, if you're not going to be putting the mower deck on anytime soon, make sure you take this out, because if you leave it in there, you have a great chance of it. If you go backwards, this thing will hit the ground, it'll jackknife it, it'll bend something, so be careful. I'm just going to actually leave it here because I don't need to take it out. Now the belt is here. This is his old belt. You may or may not have your belt installed, but when you're doing the replacement, but you're just going to come up and over the U-hook right here, and there should be a U-hook on both sides. So you want to take it off the U-hook on the other side. It's pretty easy to do. Just take it off before you take the mower deck out. Now we have to move the mower deck out a little bit so we can get the blade engagement spring off. Okay, now I'm just looking underneath the machine. They have different spots where they'll actually hook the blade engagement cable, and this one actually has a clip that holds the blade engagement cable in, and it just locks in like that, and you can just use your finger and it pops open. So take a look underneath your machine before you pull the mower deck out to make sure your cable isn't sitting in a clip. You want as much free play as you can get. Okay, so we're just going to slide this out a little bit. You don't want to slide it too much because you don't want to bend your cable. We have a pin right here that you have to take out. All right, and then this should pull out of its hole right there. It'll give us a little bit more play. And here is this is a upgraded cable. As you can see, they've changed this design through many years, and this is a heavy duty spring. They had problems with these springs breaking. This is a real heavy duty cable. I have a video on how to install the blade engagement cable if needed, and since the hook is actually sitting in the up position right here, you're just going to go ahead and you may need to get your arm out of the way here, and then you can just pull this up. It should slide out the bottom like so. And then everything goes underneath the belt and underneath your blade brake arm here. So make sure when you reinstall this, it goes under, but I'm going to show you that. And then just put this up out of the way. What I got, there we go there. Now I'm going to go ahead and slide this mower deck all the way out. Just doing a belt, everybody thinks, oh, it's so easy, you can just do it underneath the machine. You can't easily do the dry belt underneath the machine. A couple different reasons. One, you have to take these covers off, and these are 10 millimeter, it's a 10 millimeter socket, and there's a bolt here, which is really hard to get to when it's underneath the machine. There's one here, and there's one here. Also, when you put your new belt on and take your old belt off, you can see that this very small gap between the guide right here. This, you don't want to bend this out. A lot of people will stick a pry bar in here and bend them out. You're going to bend the pulley. You're going to bend this too far out. This gap is supposed to be that skinny so this doesn't come off when you disengage your blade. The same over here. So these are 15 millimeter socket, and you don't have to take them off. You just have to take them up high enough so you can move these up out of the way. So first thing I'm going to do is just move these off to the side. We're going to go ahead and take the covers off. Okay, these are the newer style covers, and the old covers had no metal insert right here. They were plastic and they would wear out. Now this one's worn, even though it's through, it's not worn out because now they have the metal insert that this is a belt guide. So you really need to have this on. If your cover is not on when the belt's on, it will fall off when you disengage the mower deck. So these covers are important, they're belt guides. Same with this one. It's worn down to the metal part, which is fine. They still work. They do their job. Okay, so we have the 15 millimeter socket. I'm just going to loosen this up. Don't have to take it off. Now, these can be stuck on sometimes, and I just usually wobble these back and forth. Okay, so that one's stuck, and that one came up. Just comes off like that. Take this off around here. This one here is stuck. I'm gonna go ahead and get myself a little bit of PB Blaster. This is what I've been using all the years. I know there's Croy oil or Kroll oil that they say. It works great. Just a little bit in there. We're gonna let that soak in for a little bit. While we're letting that soak, you have blade brakes here. They're important, so you want to make sure you take a look at these, make sure these look good, which it does there and it does there. So when you engage your mower deck, it actually disengages your blade brakes. And that's important that these move correctly. And as you can see, when I'm engaging it by hand, they easily move. If they're rusted and they don't move, then you have to take this apart and clean it up if needed. Also, there should be a grease fitting, which there is under here. There's a grease fitting right here. If you engage the mower deck blades and you spin, oh, this sounds great. So he obviously has been greasing it. I haven't seen this machine in years, so you want to go ahead and grease them and just spin them. They sound great. We're going to go ahead and put a couple pumps of grease in there. A lot of people out there are saying, oh, there's no reason to grease your bearings. Well, in my opinion, you're wrong. If you don't keep those hubs full of grease, water will intrude into the bearings and dry them out, and they will not last. I let this sit for a while. I don't like using the pry bars too much on these pulleys. Usually I can just wiggle and jiggle them, but this one's being a little stubborn. So I'm prying up a little bit, and then I'm just going to tap this. It's coming. I can see it already coming. And I'm not doing much of anything. I don't want to bend anything. Yeah, I already saw it came up. All right, now I'm going to take this off just to make sure I didn't bend the pulley. Yeah, the pulley's perfectly fine. All right, and the PB Blaster worked perfect. It did exactly what it's supposed to do. Normally, you just let them sit for a while, and they do wiggle and jiggle, and I was just wiggling side to side. And at the end there, I did put the pry bar underneath there, and it came up. And that's another thing too. You do want to check your pulleys to make sure they spin good and they're not loud. If your pulleys are loud, just get new ones. I'm going to go ahead and sand this down a little bit, and then put a little bit of Never Seez on there. I'm taking it on and off just to move the Never Seez around a little bit and turning it one little bit at a time just so I get Never Seez over everything. Okay, it's perfect. Belt off. And this belt is being replaced because it is very old. It is thinned out. It's cracked. It's in very poor condition. As a fact, this old one is very worn, so the new one's probably going to be a little bit shorter. And they're close, but the new one is a little bit shorter like it's supposed to be. Alright, so we're just going to put the new one on. Now I'm standing in front of the mower deck, so always remember that you're going to have in the back, it's going to go straight across the back, around the pulley. It's going to go the flat part of the belt goes on the flat part of the pulley, remember that. And technically these are the V part of a pulley right here, and that's the V part of the belt. And this one here, up, put that on here. Gonna go ahead and tighten these up. Make sure they spin after you tighten them. Okay, need to grease the side real quick. Okay, now if you need to, pick up the mower deck, check your blades, make sure they're coming across evenly, make sure they're sharp. If you need to install a new set of blades, clean underneath your mower deck. It's the best thing to do once you have your mower deck off. We're gonna go ahead and put the right side cover on, 2 bolts for this one. Make sure your belt is on before you completely bolt this down. Once you have it, once you're in, and make sure it's on, these should hold it, the cover will hold the belt on. Just snug these up. You don't want them too tight or you'll crack your plastic housing. And I just pull the belt a little bit taut so the covers will go on a little bit easier and the belt doesn't fall off. So I'm pulling it tight while I'm putting the cover on this side. All right, everything looks good. Make sure your arms are over, down on the deck here. Okay, so we do need to put the blade engagement spring back on again, and it needs to be on the outside of this when we put it under. So we have to come over the arm. We're gonna push it in a little bit, underneath your belt, underneath your blade arm, your blade brake arm, and then the slot in the blade engagement. And it goes up, so it's just going to kind of go right up in there. It should be like that. It shouldn't be that hard. Make sure it's on the outside of this. We're going to go ahead and push the deck under. I'm going to go ahead and put the front bracket in because it kind of gets me aligned with everything as far as where everything's supposed to go. It's just easier that way. Now, I am a couple inches away right now, and if you want, you can either take your emergency brake off, push the tractor back, or I'm just going to pull the deck up a little bit. And you know which hole it goes in because you'll see the wear marks on the holes. Don't put it in the holes that aren't worn. You can see the wear mark is very easy. I'm going to go ahead and put the clip in. Let's see how that goes here. Just like so. I'm going to go ahead and, since we're here with the spring, might as well lock the spring into its place right here. And that should just go, it should just push right in there. And there is a pin that goes behind here. And it's very hard to see, but I'll show you. There's a hole. You see the hole right there in the bracket? It's right here. Just like that. Never seen them really fall out. I'm gonna push it under a little bit more. You gotta get the center bracket on, and you're gonna need to move the bracket around, move the mower deck around to get it lined up. Once you have it on, okay, so I don't know if you guys saw this, but I did not put the washer on. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the washer on. Okay, back to the bracket. Gonna go ahead and put the pin in, like so. And you do need to bring this cable in and lock it into its little clip, like so, right there. That's all good. We're gonna go to the back here. Just go in at 90 degrees and then make sure it's facing rearward. Now, it is a long way up right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and use my pry bar. Put your washer. And normally I just go down from the top, push down. That one's installed, go around to the other side. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and do the center hanger. Usually the other side is a little bit easier. washer, pin facing rearward, like so. Got the guy 90 degrees. Make sure your hanger's facing backward. I'm gonna use my pry bar lifted up a little bit. Sets it on there. Washer. And clip. Okay, now on this side, go ahead and put the belt back on the U-hook here. Make sure it goes all the way around to the other side. At this point, I'm going to put the mower deck in the engaged position just so you can see and make sure that everything is working as it should. Everybody's on the pulleys the way they should be. Make sure you check to make sure you're on your belt or on your V pulleys on each of the covers. You can see all the way across, which is nice. So we're good to go there. Disengage it. If you forget to disengage it, it will not start. Now at this point, you want to go ahead and adjust your tire pressure, take it out for a test ride. I do have a video on how to level the mower deck on this, so I'll put that in the link in the description below. There are a few other videos that will help you out if you ever need to do a transmission drive belt. I also have a video on that. I'll put that in the link in the description below. If you want to upgrade your front wheel bearings, I have a good video on upgrading your wheel bearings from bushings to bearings. Okay, so that pretty much wraps up for how to install a mower deck belt on a D100 series John Deere. This will also work on the L100 series, the E100 series, the S100 series. They really haven't changed the design in many, many years. So if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe, share my channel with your friends, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.